All right, you're watching Nathan's Weather Show number 747 for Thursday, June 22nd, 2023. 8 years ago today, Coal City got hit by a massive EF3 tornado, Coal City, Illinois. I remember this day pretty well. I remember the tornado was obviously at night. It was a wide tornado. And then a year later, Chicagoland area, same areas, got hit by another severe weather event in 2016. This was a year later after the Coal City EF3. And people thought that there could have been another significant situation just like what happened there. Luckily, that did not happen. But this happened yesterday. Matador, Texas. Probably heard about it by now. Very, very significant tornado. Tree debarked. Very bad damage. That was a tornado before it hit Matador. Very, very dangerous situation there. It was very significant damage. Some people were even comparing this to, the Rolling Fork tornado from March. Some people were comparing tornado damage to that. It's honestly, there are some parallels, but some people are saying this might be worse, as the entire town of Matador got hit. And this is Tim Marshall. This is a Facebook post he made. And when he says something looks bad, that's not a good sign. Because, he's famous for rating all these tornadoes and all that. But when he says it, it's not good. Here's a comparison somebody made. Tonight versus Rolling Fork. Tonight being last night. Rolling Fork is on the right. Matador is on the left. It's just really hard to tell which one looks worse. But honestly, it's the one on the left. And that's Matador. Here's radar signature. After when the tornado was south of the town of Jayton, Texas, people thought that there was a monster on the ground. There could have been. There easily could have been. And, it came close. And I don't know what tornado that was. And this is when the tornado warning was issued for Matador. Some people were saying they had no warning. Yes, they did. It was right here. As you can see, Matador is included on Highway 62 there. Highway 70 going south. And look at this. That's pavement or asphalt that was ripped out of the ground from this tornado. So it was a terrible, terrible situation. And look at this. Flattened. A lot of things are flattened here. It's not a good sign. It's gonna take a very long time to rebuild from this, and it's just very tragic. 4 confirmed dead. They're actually still looking for an RV that was parked at the Dollar General in Matador. They still have not been able to find that RV. It's believed to have 2 Dollar General employees inside of it. They still have not found the RV. They have found. Actually, let me show you that picture. They believe that this is part of. Not that. They believe this is part of the RV that went missing from the Dollar General in Matador. It's not confirmed whether it is or not. This is explaining how significant this tornado event was. Very high wind shear. See, this is the second one, the Gerald conundrum. High Cape, low shear day. This was similar conditions to seen in Gerald back in 1997. High Cape might have resulted in the storm being able to ingest obscene amounts of streamwise vorticity before that storm became a windbag and hailer. This was when the tornado, I believe, was right over Matador. This was the debris ball. I believe that's Matador right there. I believe this was when it was south, if not just northwest. Okay, what's going on here? But this, I believe, was when the tornado was in Matador from the Dow. Very, very bad damage. Very low wall cloud. This honestly reminds me of Moore 99. Almost when that scene where that double funnel appeared. And that's honestly what this reminds me of. And it's a very significant damage there. Val Caster of News 9 kept calling this a EF4 tornado. I think he said it like 6 times that it was a possible EF4 tornado. Honestly, from the way things have been looking, he's not wrong. Another image of that tornado right there. Ground scouring from the tornado, another picture of it. Even more ground scouring from this house. I believe this is made of cinder block or something like that. Very obviously well-built home. Almost flattened. And that's definitely not a good sign there. This is a engine block from a Ford Super Duty truck, one of those big F-150, F-250 and all that. It was ripped out of this truck. I've never heard of a situation like this before, and I believe that is the truck right there. So the fact that the engine block was ripped completely out of the truck here, who knows what could happen. And this is the storm out of the Frederick radar, KFDR. As you can see, a donut hole southeast of Matador, and a very, very strong velocity signature there. It's obviously not as strong as like the Amory tornado back in March, but it's still a pretty significant situation there. All right, 4 images here of tornado damage. That is a really badly damaged home. That obviously looks well built. Luckily, they had a basement, as you could tell, with that hole right there. Obviously, some lesser damaged homes here, but that one looks the worst. This one also looks pretty bad as well. Actually, looks even worse than the one on the right. More damage coming out of there, and then a statement that the city fire rescue of Matador put out. Or this is out of Lubbock that put this out. You can read this here for yourself. But the severe weather is not over yet, unfortunately. I'll read it from there. I'll just pull up the forecast here. Severe weather, unfortunately, is not over. Next 4 days have a chance of severe weather all across the United States. We'll start with today. I'll read off today. And in fact, before we go to that, let's talk about this air quality alert for my area. I believe it's the same thing that happened yesterday. In fact, it includes most of Wisconsin and a lot of Minnesota, too. A lot of flooding off to the east as well. Obviously, the town of Matador. The town of Matador is right here. So it's about 60 to 70 miles northeast of Lubbock. 75 miles, according to Mike Morgan, 75 miles southwest of Hollis, Oklahoma. So it's not that far from Oklahoma land, but luckily it didn't happen in a major metropolitan area, that's for sure. But because there could have been a lot of damage. Luckily, it hit a small town, only a small town as far as we know, but it still was catastrophic and still caused very significant damage. In my heart goes out to all the families affected from this tornado. It's going to obviously take a very long time to rebuild. But this year's just been so unlucky and so weird when it comes to tornadic activity. I mean, you had March 24th, you had March 31st, you had April 4th, you had May 12th, you had this prolonged tornado outbreak. But it's obviously not over yet because we now have 4 days of severe weather ahead of us. Today's severe weather risk, finally we get to it, goes from southeast Wyoming to far western Nebraska, stretching through Colorado, northeast New Mexico, obviously including Clovis, New Mexico. Remember that back in May? Oh yeah, that was another one. Northwest Texas, far western Oklahoma Panhandle. That's your area. Cities include all Colorado: Denver, Colorado Springs, Aurora, Lakewood, and Fort Collins. Tornado risk is 5%, centered around Tucumcari, New Mexico, or around Clovis. Wind threat 15% hatched around the same area, 15% hatched hail stretching most of the slight risk area. Day 2, chance severe weather stretches from the tri-point of Montana, South Dakota, and Wyoming, that border, all the way down to near the U.S.-Mexico border. It includes Lubbock, Amarillo, Midland, Odessa, Texas, and Rapid City, South Dakota. Tornado risk here, 2%, stretching from east central Wyoming down to near, if you guys remember this town, the Saragossa, Texas, near that area. In fact, tomorrow it doesn't include Clovis, New Mexico in its risk, but it's just 2%. I highly doubt it will go up, but, I mean, you never know. 15% wind, 15% hatched hail, pretty much same areas as the site risk area itself, site risk area cities. And day 3, this one pretty close to my house. Actually, not really. It goes as far east as I-35 in Des Moines, but it's pretty close. Cities include Kansas City, Missouri, Omaha, Nebraska, Des Moines, Iowa, Overland Park, Kansas, Kansas City, Kansas. 15% hatched severe weather risk there. It could even go up to enhanced risk just because of that. But we will wait and see what next couple days brings. This is for Friday, by the way, right? Yes. Or no, Saturday. And then day 4 has one in the Ohio River Valley, Indianapolis, Indiana, Louisville, Kentucky, Evansville, Indiana, Bloomington, Indiana, and Muniz, Indiana. So it stretches from central Indiana, includes parts of southeastern Illinois, stretches through western Kentucky and far northern Tennessee. In fact, it and unfortunately includes Mayfield, but you get the point. Anyways, that's it for the severe weather risk there, and that's it for everything else. Let's get on with the forecast. Let's actually go down to Tropical Storm Brett, and actually we have a Tropical Depression 4. This will become Cindy in the next couple hours. Moving west-northwest at 15, 35-mile-an-hour gusts. Like I said, moving west-northwest at 15. Tropical Storm Brett, 70-mile-an-hour winds. This could have been a hurricane overnight. Moving west at 14. Tropical storm watches, I believe, should be in effect for Martinique, St. Lucia. Looks like it could make a landfall in the far northern parts of St. Lucia here. And then eventually it will work its way to the west, where it looks like it will maintain tropical storm status. But as it enters really warm waters here, it could make a landfall somewhere between Honduras and Costa Rica. Looks like Nicaragua could take the brunt of this one as well. Cindy, for the time being, looks like it will miss the entire Caribbean island chain. Looks like it will curve off to the north and possibly even go toward Bermuda, but that's probably when it's completely weakened off and no longer existent. But that's it for your tropical storm update. Let's go to the main forecast. Right now in North Aurora, 81, feels like 82, humidity 47%, dew point 59, winds out of the northeast at 9. Thunderstorms possible, obviously, Sunday. The showers possible in the afternoon Monday. Thunderstorms again possible in the morning on Friday the 30th. Showers possible in the morning Sunday the 2nd, and thunderstorms look like they're possible on the 4th of July, which, that's great. Partly cloudy skies majority of the day today and a high of 86. So with that is this edition of Nathan's Weather Show. Very tragic one, as we had a lot to talk about, a lot of bad things to talk about, but, I mean, it's sad, even though it doesn't happen anywhere near you. It's still sad to hear that people's lives are affected, especially if you've been doing this for 10 years and you've experienced a lot of this firsthand. So it hits me personally more than you would think. But with that is this edition of Nathan's Weather Show number 747 for Thursday, June 22nd, 2023. And with that, goodbye.